If anybody from your team is failing, it's not their problem, it's your problem. You are the one who have not guided them right. My leadership is about building teams and having their back. Telling them failures is mine and success is ours.
And मुझे आपका वो भी बहुत inspiring लगा how you are associated with SEWA and computer Shiksha and making a big difference there. So what attracted you towards them?
It is getting women their rightful place because they're starting the race far later than all the men did. It is equity and equality. I am not here to do midday meals to them. I am here to say, how do you find your rightful place in your family, in your society, in your country?
Any deal or any M&A which you could have done better, like a story of failure?
Whenever you face challenges, you can also flip it in order to become a successful. So even in failures, you can create success. For any CFO or any CXO to be successful.
Exactly.
I call this the 5 nuances of life. These are yield, climb, unmix, fable and prime. Yield, climb, unmix, fable are like pillars and prime is the multiplier. Let me explain each one of them.
Organization, companies, leaders, how they can balance both the business performance and also working for the society or for the nation as whole.
If I were to ask myself one question, do you want to give cancer to your next generation? We may leave the world so bad, the next generation may as well turn back and say that you've given us cancer.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Pursuit of Finance and Leadership channel. Today I'm super excited to have Dr. V S Parthasarathy with us. He is a coach, he is a mentor, he's an entrepreneur. In his current part, he's super excited about building social through his participation and leadership in SEWA and computer Shiksha. He was previously the group CFO of Mahindra Group and also president of Mobility Services. He also is on board of directors for multiple entities like LIC, there are entities, NIIT and many others. He is also an independent director for companies like Cardekho and many other unicorns. He has more than 40 years of experience. He's a chartered accountant and he has also previously spent a good part of his career in Modi Xerox. Welcome Dr. Parthasarathy with us. And I'm super excited. Thank you so much for giving me time and opportunity.
I'm delighted to be here, and it's always good to talk about lives and times, especially with an enthusiastic anchor like you, Nidhi.
So thank you, sir. So I'll call you Partha. I think that's something you prefer. So Partha, tell us about your life from here, personal life, something about your professional life with all of us.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good place to start any conversation. I define my life as it started that I was born in Chennai, brought up in India and curated by the world. So that's a kind of a journey. I was born in Chennai, but I've seen all states of India. New states when they opened up. You can argue whether Telangana and Andhra Pradesh I've seen, but I think I have all states of India, and I have been head of global markets for 5 years, where I have stamps of more than 60 countries in my passport. So I think they have shaped the way I think and I work. Now coming to this one, in terms of how I have evolved, I would like to use 2 quotes. आया हूँ बड़ी दूर से, खाता हूँ करेला, मोचो पे ताव दे के लड़ता हूँ अकेला. So that's kind of a personal one, and how it is framed out is मैं अकेला ही चला था लेकिन लोग मिलते गए, कारवां बनता गया और हम सफर ने सफर को सफल बना दिया.
बहुत बढ़िया.
So this is on the personal side. On the professional side, if I were to talk, after doing CA, I joined MX, Modi Xerox with 1 M, then graduated to M&M with 2 M's. So it took me close to about 38 years of my career. And I, at that point of time, thought the only other company which now can employ me is 3M. Because 1M to 2M, now 3M. But I said better is to now do many M's, many M's in the market, and therefore I took early retirement to do social. So this is my journey on the professional side. And the third one, which you kind of asked about, my wife,
Yes.
in a sense, when you talk about personal life, wife, children, parents. So I kind of define my parents as my North Star. They are what I look up to and what I can see. My children as my guru,
Oh.
and my wife as my wajud, the reason of my existence.
Thank you. And you have also done PhD. Tell us about that.
So it's a very interesting story.
Hmm.
So as I became group CFO, I realized that the future of finance is going to change so dramatically that unless we are ready to adapt, we will not have a reason of existence. Is that right? So from grow more, the profession will become no more. And how will we change is by becoming researchers, analysts and doctorates. So I launched a program through Finance Academy, which I set for the group in Mahindra.
Okay.
A program called PhD program, in which people can get doctorate, and therefore they can become specialists who can even feed to AI and
Yes.
through machine learning. And they were all said, sir, this takes 5 years, this is such a long road, who will we do it? I said, okay, I'll be the first guinea pig.
Oh, so
And
lead by example.
That's how I started at a ripe age of 57.
Hmm.
And I got the PhD when I turned more than around 60 plus. I got that. So a couple of years back, I got that PhD. So I'm very happy, and it was in M&A, mergers and acquisitions. So I'm very delighted. So learning never stops. But more importantly, the new breed of finance professionals needs to adapt.
That's so cool. And you actually, and I think many of us will think यार कि हो गया जो हमने पढ़ा था starting में पढ़ लिया. But you have done PhD at the age of 57, and also you have done advanced management program from Harvard as well, right?
Yeah, this is something I kind of barged in and told them that no, I need to go to Harvard and study management. And that's what I kind of did. In 2011 was the time I went to Harvard. So yeah, that's also around going around 50. Yeah.
That is good, and the learning never stops. I also truly believe in that. So thank you so much for sharing about your personal life. So you have done many roles. You have done roles as a CFO. You have done role as CIO, which is heading the entire IT function of Mahindra Group. That was like huge.
Yeah.
And you have also become then president of the business. So how your journey and leadership style has evolved over years?
So I think in a very simple thing, it has kind of been one curated, which is I call Peter, and then repeater. So it keeps the same style I followed, because once you get a good mool mantra, why stop them? And if I were to talk about my leadership, it's about building teams, and empowering them, and having their back. So this is a constant theme as I've gone through each role. And telling them failures is mine and success is ours. It is not theirs only, it is ours. Okay? And that's the only thing, and I kind of made a thing that there is no bad subordinate, only a bad boss. So if anybody from your team is failing, it's not their problem, it's your problem. You are the one who have not guided them right. So that's the philosophy that I have learned, or the leadership trait I have learned. And what comes out is three things: empathy, how you listen, how you understand, how you try to, and I will often go to somebody and say, hey, is something wrong? Should we have a chat? And then we will say, Aapko kaise malum? So, but it is because you are trying to understand your people. Then you have empowerment, and you can also have, entrust them with big tasks. Tell them that you are trusting them to do that kind of, and that leads to a great amount of achievement. And I can very clearly see that I have never achieved incremental success. I've always achieved 10x, 50x, that kind of success. And that comes because you have an ordinary dream, but you give extraordinary dreams and then work very, very hard at getting them. Not, without hard work, without smart work, it doesn't come. And then success is there. This is my leadership style, or my leadership mantra. And that has helped me, whatever be the role, this doesn't change.
Wow, that's great. And actually putting the team first and giving them empowerment, that itself really helps and create magic.
True, absolutely.
Partha, tell us something. See, you have now 40 years of career, right? And you have done, as you shared, about your leadership style, but also about the mindset. आपको कैसे आप relevant रहे in 40 years in terms of ensuring कि आप 5x, 10x जो आपने अभी शेयर किया हमसे उतना अचीव हो. So how you kept your mindset and everything पूरा relevant for the industry?
I have a position of mindset of abundance. Okay. So when there is abundance, there is opportunity for everyone. Then you are not fighting to be the bigger fish in a small pond. You are trying to make the pond so much bigger that even your subordinates can become CEOs of the right, and still you can have a great. My purpose in life is to make leaders. And so that's the mindset. The other one is of growth mindset. Again, here the philosophy is, if I go 10x, 1,000 crore business will become 10,000 crores. Then it can have 4 leaders, 10 leaders. So if you remain at 1,000 to 1,500, it can be 1 leader. So idea is to have growth. The third is mindset is belief in people. There are many people who will say, yeah, I don't know whether he's up to the mark. I have a belief that it's my job to make him up to the mark. And therefore, to give one small example of mindset, I joined Mahindra tractors. Okay? Yes. And I said I need internal people to do transformation. That was my role. I was to transform tractor to be global number 1. So I had this job. And they all gave one volunteer from other divisions. Who do you think they gave me? The best guys? Best girls? No. They all gave what they thought was average people, or people whom they can spare. So I called each one of them. I said, I don't care about the past, but we will set itihas here. We will be Vishwaji. We will win this world. We will be world number 1. And you, my team, will make it happen. Then we didn't see backwards. Yeah. Then that entire team suddenly, and this is a comment from some other team members, how do you make super performance of average performance? It is you believe in them and therefore create belief in themselves. That's the third mindset. Yeah. The mindset is another one is share knowledge, don't hoard. The idea is that we feel that if I tell them everything, then what will I have? How will I go to a meeting and shine? But my theory has been, the more you share, the more you will get. And because you are creating a group of similar minded people, it will go on to become an open-ended society. And that creates magic. It has to be felt, it can't be explained in words. Okay, but trust people and share knowledge with them. They will share more than knowledge. Yeah, otherwise they will hoard it also. The other one thing is that often we take it, mindset is of practice makes people perfect. I have a problem with that statement. Because imperfect practice makes a person perfectly imperfect. So therefore, you have to make sure first that what they are practicing is good.
Is correct. That is true.
So you have to, it's like making a world champion of a, tennis guy, but whose backhand is very weak. And then people will always exploit that weak. So idea is to first to see that your backhand is weak. So I have to work on that backhand. And then you practice so that you make perfect. So imperfect practice don't allow that to happen. So that's again another mindset. And the last one I would say in terms of mindset is what you feel that there is a vastness out there. And you know very less. When you have that vulnerability mindset, then you attract knowledge. When you have the knowledge of all knowing, then you repel people. When you're all knowing, so I always listen to people, I have reverse mentoring. So that's another mindset of saying what I know is very less, what others know is much more. So how do I seek knowledge? So that's the mindset.
Great. Actually, I picked up a couple of points from you, like in terms of having a mindset, which you lastly said about the learning mindset. Always have that learning. Trusting people. Trusting people makes a lot of difference. And about having the abundance. I think that's something will stay for me. और आपने अपनी टीम्स को, इनफैक्ट महिंद्रा ट्रैक्टर का जैसे आप बता रहे हैं अभी तो they are like almost number 1, like top in the world, right?
Yeah, and some of the lesser known things is that they achieved 100% ROC in a financial norm. So 3-digit ROC. We achieved that in 2012. This is 2024. I believe all this year they've never gone below 100% ROC. So this is the kind of, so what you do stays on. It is there for all times to come.
And मुझे आपका वो भी बहुत इंस्पायरिंग लगा, how you are associated with SEWA and computer शिक्षा and making a big difference there. तो आपको कैसे वहाँ पे कि ये वाले दोनों आपको these are the initiatives जहाँ पे आप जाना चाहते हैं, तो what attracted you towards them?
So very interesting stories, both of them. But before that, why social service at all?
Yeah.
So in my life, I have been fortunate to come from a very lower middle class family to being reasonably successful. I mean, I won't say, maybe I could have achieved more, but what I'm achieved or what I'm doing, I'm really happy about it. And I think that's a good place to be in. All this was possible only because people helped. I can call the AO uncle who taught me maths, or the Jabalpur Jawan, who gave us a place not only to live but also helped in many ways. So I could go back and try to help them, their family. But I think maybe they'll be happy about it, but they'll not be very happy about it. But I'm sure they would say that what I did because I wanted to do that. Can you do something which is better? So I thought giving it forward would be a more respectful way of repaying them.
Yes.
So that's the context of what I started with. So if you have to ask me what is the 50% opportunity of India, I would say it is getting women their rightful place. They should be 50% of the GDP, they should be 50% of the prosperity, and they should be 100% of the success. So there is huge thing that they can do. How do I help them in this journey? Because they're starting the race far later than all the men did. So, and that's what is the inspiration that to me. It is equity and equality. That's all. They don't need any crutch. I'm not here to do midday meals to them. I'm here to say, how do you find your rightful place in your family, in your society, in your country? And that's the mission. So that's the inspiration for
SEWA.
When it comes to computer Shiksha, we are a IT powerhouse. How will we be a powerhouse with AI in future? We can do only that if we are doing computer Shiksha to all our school children. And this is not to the convents. They can fend for themselves. Think about all the underprivileged children. And do you know how many schools are there? 12 lakh schools.
12 lakh.
Yeah. And these are the 12 lakh schools probably, and 25 crore children whom we have to educate in computers, so that the foundational being done, then they can, it's like sugar in the milk. IT, technology, including AI, foundational course will act like that sugar in the milk and will make their entire knowledge and the education sweetened and make them ready to take on the world and be part of Viksit Bharat. So that's so one for Viksit Bharat, one for Nari Shakti. So
actually दोनों जो आपने causes जिसको आप promote कर रहे हैं और जो support कर रहे हैं, both of these are super crucial and in the current time even more.
One of the things I said is that I could also open a foundation and then start something. This way we are doing ice, we are all carrying ice. And as we carry it, some for it melts and nothing is left. But if we all work for two such causes and and put all our efforts, then some big magic will happen. Yeah, one of my mentor director said that corporates for change. I think these are citizens for change.
Citizens for change. Everyone can actually support any cause of their choice. And Partha, so if on our podcast, like if someone wants to really support these causes, so what would we?
Contact me. Every time and any time I'm there. And I will, you can see the easiest is to give funds. But you can also give, like computer Shiksha. The 12 lakh schools, finding them is not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So you can all find schools which are in need and really want to change.
Okay.
We can, that also. You can help us with curriculum. You can help us with teaching. So many ways you can do. The idea is, like I said, अकेले ही चले थे हम, लेकिन लोग मिलते गए, कारवां बनता गया. So let's make a कारवां here as well. Whether in SEWA or in computer Shiksha. I am happy to be the contributor.
Okay. Thank you so much, Partha, for sharing. I think one of these two causes, if any one of us wants to really support, they will reach out to you LinkedIn or whatever way. But it will be great to contribute to make India even better from wherever we are. So thanks for that. Now coming on to one of the area where you have the PhD, you're the doctor for that, M&A, and आपने I think more than 100 plus M&A deals करिए. It is like
125 is what I claim. Yeah.
Wow. Like people just take a proud कि उन्होंने एक दो deals करी and they will be like it's every deal is a complicated matter. But I think I just want to dwell upon with your vast experience in M&A and PhD. If you can share about कि कोई भी M&A, how does it become successful, and what are something which companies should do, companies or leaders who are part of it, and what they should not even do?
So one of the thing is that I'm writing a book on this. I've tried to analyze in Indian context M&A and tried to do. So over and above that, in parallel, we have actually come out with a scoring system.
Okay.
So if you actually score what you have done for an M&A, and if the scoring comes to, let's say, less than 60, you say the chances of success are medium. If it comes less than 50, then you know you have some more work to do. And if it comes to 70, then you know it'll be a very good M&A. So we have kind of put this, whatever is very abstract, into a scoring system.
Okay.
And we will do that scoring so that we cut out biases. So our organization can come to us and we will do. Okay. But let me not duck your question. On this podcast also, we need to give some answers. Okay. So I would say focus on hard keys and soft keys. Hard keys are like your business case.
Yes.
Yeah. Market share, okay, revenue, bottom line, all that stuff, right? So, but the soft keys are, how you look at the whole transaction, culture. So I think there are 4 things which I would put as very, very important. First is culture. If you're acquiring or working with any other company, you're coming into partnership, you're acquiring, you're merging, you must say that what is the culture we want to create.
Culture.
Okay. So for example, I acquired a company in China.
Okay.
So and then the question was, which R&D system will we follow? The Indian one or the Chinese one? What is the, who will mandate? So and then I quickly came out with an equivalent of na Hindu banega, na Musalman banega, insan ki aulad hai, insan banega. So you guys, the JV will decide. And that's what will work. And both parents will give it support. But we will do. And the second one, I said, India for India, China for China, and the world for both. So again, very clear saying what is the norm that we are setting. So then each one of them, I have a prideful place. I can have China market and also compete for the globe. Yeah. So I'm not being diminished. I don't now become a supplier to an Indian company who will then look at the market. Okay. So it's very important. So culture is a very important thing that you. Second thing is mindset. Mindset of abundance, mindset of growth, right? I talked about all that. That mindset is very important. So you put that mindset. I believe this is what is going. I believe in growth. I believe in abundance.
Yes.
Okay. Third one is of course money. You'll have to have financial return. So do make that. And the fourth and probably the most important is purpose. When you do M&A, what purpose are you doing M&A?
Why?
Okay. Why? So and most of the time it is. This stated thing is very different, but it's empire building. It is available. It will add multiples to my stock price. Hope. Okay. So all this becomes purpose gorged into something very nicely put English. So if you do that, then you will do, because vanity kills, sanity keeps you afloat. But winning mindset with good culture creates value.
Winning mindset with good culture, create values. Acha, on this note, tell us something like आपकी 125 plus में आपका कौन सा सबसे ज़्यादा M&A deal which you are proud of? Any story?
Basically, 2 of our very successful M&As has been, one has been Punjab Tractors and the other has been Satyam. Okay. While Satyam I was did as more as an M&A person, and that too helping, Tech Mahindra. Get that, acquire that, and do it.
And that was after the issue of Satya.
Yeah.
Oh,
after this. Okay. Punjab Tractors was a very interesting case study. So we talked about Punjab Tractors after a presentation was made in one of the leadership concerts. to Anand Mahindra and Keshub Mahindra that if we don't acquire and remain number one, then Mahindra will lose its sheen in the industry. So our acquisition of Punjab Tractors was based on strategic requirements. Okay. So, and then we went and acquired that company. So when we acquired it, first time around, we didn't even acquire because a private equity took it. We said, okay, let's wait for them to clean some house. And then we went, and then the price had almost doubled, ask has doubled from the PE. And I told that this is, even though the price is double, this is the right time to take. Because what had also changed is the culture.
The management
has
changed.
The management has changed.
They put in more professionals.
Professionals. So the culture was way more open to working with somebody like me. And then when we went in, the first year I said no market share. Yeah, and we all went in with the mindset, first health drivers, then growth drivers. I want to fix and make sure that the company is healthy, the people are raring to go, and then rest would follow. So we focused on making them heroes, keeping their pride intact. Swaraj is still today a market brand, a separate second brand.
Achha, ye uska tha Punjab Tractors. Wow, this is like very famous. Yes.
Yeah. And they went from a market share, which I don't want to post, I don't know if public they are sharing or not, but I would say they 2.5 times that market share, almost 3 times of that market share of what they started with. They are now. So that is a very big thing to achieve, and huge value creation.
Huge value creation by creating that brand, like growing that. Sometimes so, M&A fails because when acquire kar lete, then the brand gets neglected. But you have grown and made it a household brand.
Correct, absolutely. Not only household brand, but kept the pride of both the company and the market in it, and learned from them. So as much as they learned from us, we learned from them.
That's remarkable. And if you don't mind me asking, any deal or any M&A which you say ki we could have done better, like something, a story of failure?
Many stories of failure. As you have success, you also have failure. My only refrain comes from I'm stepped out of it now. Success we can all speak. We should talk about failures in light of it. But there are many cases. Like for example, I'll give one example. Auto component. We took auto component and we said we can make a big market out of this. We actually went about acquiring about 12-14 companies around the world. We put on an 800 million top line, and then we realized probably we are not the best suitors for auto component. So in a sense, that whole thing, our acquisitions that we did was not necessarily successful. Was a failure.
I think the learning, what is the key learning there? It's about like whether once you acquire, can you add value? Like what is that learning?
So,
I think
so
that's
basic more we thing is that the first one of the things that I will talk about when you ask me other questions is about, are you knowing what are your strengths? Sometimes B2C is your strength. Sometimes India is your strength. So if you move away too far from your thing, auto and tractor were our strength. But is auto component our strength? Do you want to say I'm good at all value chain? So probably we realized we need partnership.
Understood.
And what I'm now also saying, that whenever you face challenges like that, you can also flip it in order to become a successful. So that auto component learning, wherein we said we are at crossroads, now I think we are not the best guys to manage this. So then we went to CIE and said, will you take over? We will become the bigger shareholders. And then we came out with a 25% IRR. But not only did we come out with the IRR, but that CIE is now doing great guns with all that industry. So everyone is happy. So even in failures, you can create success.
Even in failure, you can create success. I think that's a great learning. Thank you, Partha, for sharing on that. Partha, you have won like many awards. If I just read about the awards which Partha has won: Business World Yes Bank Hall of Fame Award, Best CFO of India Award by IMA Corporate, Lifetime Achievement Award for CFO and CIO role at Mahindra, Digital Icon of India Award by HPE, CIO 100 Award, Hall of Fame by CIO, and winnings for 4 consecutive years. आपने इतने सारे awards win किए हैं, and now as I see you are on the board of many award-winning committees, right? You are choosing the winners. We all have such a great success story on awards. And now when you see upcoming leaders, जिनको आप select करते हैं, what are your learnings? What do you really see in them that something is a person or a leader or a company deserves those awards?
It's a very, very interesting question. First, when you asked about the award, I must just tell you this, that we all feel sometimes like superhumans because we get all these awards, etc. It's a reflection of the company which we work for.
Yeah.
A team which is high performing, and you have to have that clear reasoning in your mind that all this tends to get the awards, and you are I tell my team that I'll keep the awards, I'll give all the credit to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I keep the awards and share the credits. But just coming, that's another question that now I'm on jury of many of these. How do I see what comes about? And this I want to also use in terms of saying what is the framework for any CFO to be successful or any CXO to be successful.
Exactly.
Not just the CFO. A CEO also, how he can be successful. I call this the 5 nuances of life. PHI, pi. So, yeah, but also 5. Okay. So, and I've used 5 letter words to define each of them.
Yeah, that's very nice.
And these are yield, climb.
Okay.
Unmix, fable, and prime. And let me explain each one of them. Yield means kitna deti hai. So what is the return that this thing is giving you? Yeah, what is the return that? So you're working for a company as a CFO. What is the return you're given them? How have you given? What is your ROC? What is your ROE? What is your whatever is being your contribution to? That's yield. Second is, if as a CXO you're good at giving returns but not allowing the company to grow, then you will be bad. So how are you allowing the company to grow? How are you investing for future? When I'm today, I must invest for tomorrow. So how are you investing for the tomorrow? So what are you putting in? So I had almost a norm which said, out of 100 rupee, 20 rupees I'll invest in the future, so that 80 rupee today also I can show profit, but 20 rupees I'll invest for future. It will make me loss-making units or whatever. But investment may not be only in the form of loss. It may be even in the form of expense. Let's say AI or digital. If you don't invest today, you can't reap tomorrow. You can't come out ahead. So climb is the second one.
Climb, helping company to climb up.
Climb up.
Okay.
Consistently, not just in the revenue terms, but in terms of competencies, in terms of skills, in terms of new frontiers of technology. Third is unmix. The world becomes very complex very soon. Every company becomes very complex. If the CXO is not focusing on simplicity, is not focusing on unmixing. Unmix, yeah. So his job is to not mix. Everything gets mixed up. It becomes like almost the thread which has all got intertwined. You have to remove that thread and make it simple. And fourth is fable. Fable is telling stories. So how do you tell great stories about your company? About this. So many of our financial professionals are good in numbers, but when there is a presentation to be made, they are not that good. We now have to become very good in terms of how do we tell the story. So we look for even how they have written their bio, how they have written their achievement, but mostly how do they tell good stories.
Tell the story, yes.
And fable. So when they are talking about. And last is prime. Prime is about great corporate governance, great people, great processes. Yeah. So how do you keep the organization in prime? I kind of say yield, climb, unmix, fable are like pillars, and prime is the multiplier. So prime, if good corporate governance will multiply their shine.
Yes.
If the prime is 0, then rest of it doesn't matter because you will keep crumbling.
Exactly.
So these 5 things is a good barometer for me to do anything, irrespective of what that competition is. I go and look at what has he done for yield, climb, unmix, fable, and prime. And then I say, oh, he's a great guy.
That itself speaks about your leadership and also about you can say, the learnings which on these 5 pillars you have done with your own team?
So sometimes what they say is, initially the company makes the products successful. Later the products makes the company successful. So maybe the initial bit may be my doing, but I would believe that I got the benefit of all these leaders shining, because that reflected on me as a good CFO.
Yeah, of course. As a group CFO, you would be proud of the achievements of your team, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Now, this brings to a next question. I think that's a point we touched upon earlier about your main interest in social. But sometimes if I talk about organization, companies, leaders, for them to balance the in-year goals, there are profitability goals, ESG पे तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा discussion debates होती हैं, people are. But in terms of your own view, how they can balance, how leaders can balance both the business performance and also working on for the society or for the nation as whole?
This is a very, very serious question. Yeah. So, and I can't even smile when I talk about this, is because it's that serious a subject. If I were to ask myself one question, do you want to give cancer to your next generation? What would a CEO of a company, what would the company say? No, certainly not.
No, absolutely not.
Certainly not. I think it is that big a problem that we are facing today. We may leave the world so bad by the time we step out and the next generation comes. Those may as well turn back and say that you've given us cancer. And I think it's important for us to kind of course correct. So now we say, okay, we all understand, we get it conceptually and we get it emotionally.
Yes.
But how do we bring it into a day-to-day life? And I think I have 2 or 3 prescriptions for that.
Yes.
First is, we ask ourselves the question, what is the QCD for anything? QCD for any project. What is QCD? Quality, cost, delivery.
Yes.
So if we say, no, not good enough, you can't ask only these 3. But if you say QCDS.
What is this?
S is sustainability.
Sustainability.
So you put down what I'm doing, what is it doing to cost, quality, delivery and sustainability. And then say this is my like quality, minimum quality for being sales, minimum sustainability for doing business. Then this change from QCD to QCDS will ensure we have a better tomorrow.
Yes.
We are going towards a better tomorrow. So this is the first. The second thing is to say, we say triple bottom line is great, right? When you focus on profit, people,
and planet.
Oh,
Yeah.
say great. I think it's one of the worst concepts that was built from a sustainability point of view. Because think about people and planet competing with profit. One is clear. You know what you're getting, what is the reason. And another is people and planet, which is nebulous. So you're mixing outputs with, reason with process, reason with output. So people and planet will always come second. Profit will come first, and they will somehow claim that the profit satisfies both people and planet.
Okay.
So,
I never thought that way.
Yeah, so you have to change the philosophy for the times. I suggest you do 2P plus 2P. The reason for our existence is people and planet.
Yes.
Put it on the output side.
Yeah.
And put on the input side process of profit and process of governance. So 2P plus 2P will give you a sustainable tomorrow, because you are now focusing on the process of profit and process of governance. And governance here, to my mind, includes both the complete ESG.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's so you're having process of governance, process of profit, and output is people and planet. And then you put objectives, which doesn't say profit, but which says, what do I want to give people? It is employees, it's shareholders, it's different, but I put it. Similarly, what is the output I want for the planet? I want to achieve this, less carbon footprint, so much, this. And then you have process of profit and process of governance. How will the world change? We are not chasing only profit. Today we are chasing only profit and paying lip service to people and planet. We have to change it and put things where they belong.
So 2P plus 2P, that's
2P
the framework to
That's
follow.
the second one. And the third one, much more easier, but I want to kind of do, is where you say you have integrated reporting too. So integrated reporting basically means that you are integrating at a report level.
Yeah.
I don't need reporting integrated. I need operations
integrated.
So I need to go from integrated reporting to integrated working. The known knowns
Yeah.
in the future are very less.
Hmm.
The unknown unknowns will be very large. How do you deal with unknown unknowns? Is not by being rigid, but being adaptive. So write a book called Build to Adapt, not Build to Change.
Actually, Build to Adapt is so true, even for any leader or professional.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why PhD. That's why researchers. That's
Yes.
why analysts. Yeah. Okay. So we are adapting to it. The third one is business movements will give new industries. Right? You can talk about how Amazon becomes from a book
Yes.
to e-commerce, and you've seen enough example. So PBT plus PPM is equal to business movement. It is people, business, things.
People, business, things.
And PPM is not parts per million,
Uh,
but people, process, machines.
but
So when they come together, and both sides there is people, so you can knock them off. So it's people, process, machines, things. All of them come together, new business model will. And therefore be aware that your company anytime there may be competition. For example, the competition to auto company is not auto company. It may be Amazon tomorrow.
Absolutely.
It can be Apple tomorrow. Yeah, and it can be an airspace company like Tesla. Unfortunately, Elon Musk has a Starlink. So Starlink can be competition to auto. So all this is very important to understand that there are competition business moments which are coming.
And the point about, like, we talked about the younger generation, let's talk about your kids. You have 2 sons, right?
Yeah.
So how do they see you, Partha?
Okay. So there are one or two questions. Thankfully, you asked me before. So I actually asked them. Okay.
Okay, you asked them.
I'm going to I'm looking at the screen, the short screen, and say, one of them says, I see my dad as the hardest worker.
Okay.
I know. A hilarious creator of endless acronyms. And
endless. I can see the number of acronyms.
And most importantly, a warm-hearted, constant source of inspiration and encouragement.
Okay.
My other son says, we see our dad as someone who was incredibly hard and puts everything into ensuring the success of his work and organization, and dedicated to achieving his goals and supporting his team.
Okay.
His ability to stay calm and find solution always impressed us. Integrity is not only what he talks about, but something he lives out in every aspect of his life.
Wow, that is so nice of your kids to say about this.
Yeah. Personality wise, he is always positive and encouraging. And he has a natural ability to lift people and his attitude and words. And he is a great listener. Finally, we see him as someone who helps unlock our potential and encourage us to explore what we are good at and to reach our full potential and succeed in our own ways.
That is absolutely wonderful. Tell the name of your sons.
My elder son is called Prakash Parthasarathy, and the younger one is Akash, of course, Parthasarathy.
Great. So thank you so much, Prakash and Akash, for sharing such great words about Partha. Thank you for that. You have been mentor to so many people. And you must have also, आपको भी बहुत अच्छा कुछ advice मिला होगा in your 40 years of your career. और you would have also given बहुत सारे लोगों को. So tell us आपकी 2 advice. एक तो जो आपको मिला जो बहुत अच्छा लगा, और जो एक आपने दिया जिससे बहुत impact create हुआ.
Yeah, so one advice I got is that you can't jump over a chasm in 2 steps. If there is a big high, you can't take two jumps to get to the other side. You'll go down. So you have to jump. So take risks. Take risks. That's my best advice I received. And I have. And therefore, anytime anybody offered me anything, I never said no. I said,
bring it on.
Bring it on. I'll see what happens. And that's been a very successful journey for me. I have given some advices which is, I'll kind of reel them out. It's not one advice. Yeah. So first is listen, discern and learn. So if you stop listening, you will be worse for it. There is nothing called not hard work. Smart work से काम चल जाएगा, नहीं चलेगा. Hard work चाहिए ही चाहिए. Yeah, incredibly hard work करना है. And smart work करना, दोनों चाहिए. अगर नहीं है तो आप successful नहीं हो. The third one I already quoted, there is never a bad subordinate, only a bad boss. So build best of your team unless they are rotten apple and are cynics, which you have to rid off. Rest you have to nurture. गधे भी मिलेंगे, घोड़े भी मिलेंगे और शेर भी मिलेंगे, लेकिन सबको साथ लेके चलो।
सबको साथ लेके,
क्योंकि आप क्या हो को आपका टीम बताएगा। Okay? And हमेशा पर्पस एंड विजन लेके चलिए। पर्पस क्या चीज आपको मोटिवेट करता है, एंड विजन ताकि आपको पता चले विजन इज नॉट ए वेरी लॉन्ग टर्म, इट्स नॉट लाइक मिशन। आई एम सेइंग विजन इज next 3 years I want to do this, next 4 years I want to do, so that there is you working towards some milestones and you're working for a purpose. Okay? Never run out of cash. This is to Saint CFOs. In no business will survive, you will not survive either. So right, so this is some of
thank you so much. In fact, each of your advice is like it will help every one of us to go 1 mile up. मैं आपको अब एक डिफरेंट टर्न पे लेके जाती हूँ। एंड डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन, वर्क लाइफ में सबके लाइफ में बहुत डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशंस आती है, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स मैनेज करने होते हैं। आप कोई अपना एक स्टोरी बताइए, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट और एनीथिंग व्हिच, एंड आपने कैसे नेविगेट किया एंड व्हाट आर द लर्निंग्स?
ओके, so I mean, you know, generally this is the questions to Doug, right?
But I want to know.
No, but I won't. I had one thing which is I made a strategy for international operations. And presented it to Anand Mahindra and the leadership team, and they said for the first time we understand international strategy, and not just understand, we can understand that yes, this is logical, and if we follow it we can win. Okay, so and they asked me who will be the CEO then, okay, of this entire operation. So I tried to get another person, a CEO or the global head, and Anand said, but I have no trust in him. But I trust you, Partha. Why don't you take over this role? Okay. So here I was doing strategy and CFO, and then he's saying take over the business role. Okay. So I took. Okay. I said, if you are okay, I am willing to do this. Okay. So like I told you always, I had this philosophy that if somebody called me, you never say no. Okay. So I went and I called the international team. I was announced, I said, and I came in. I thought they will all be very happy to see me because, you know, I've been a successful person and everything. But I couldn't imagine the reception I got. Shunned is hardly the word. They just won't talk to me. They're just sitting on their own. Okay. And when I called them and I said, hey, how are you doing? They said, we just now reached a new low.
Oh, okay. They were so disappointed that you have become
the CEO. And I got them together and did severally and jointly ask them the question. And this was almost my second day into work. Okay, so into this new role. And then I went and sat with them, got them together and also separately. But what came out was very clear. We got 5 people as leaders in 6 years. So that's how many people changes have happened. Now they can't even find a good CEO, so they put you in charge.
So they just said that you are like just there as a default.
Yeah, so I mean, even 5 people CF, now no more CEO category are coming. So they just put somebody as a thing. So they have given it to you. And what's more, what do you know about sales? This is a sales job mainly. Yeah, you're going to go and sell in the world. How are you going to sell? So what are you going to sell? So you don't know anything about sale. How do you sell? How are you going to succeed?
Then?
And what is the thing that again we are going to after 6 months see another change, because they thought this is a stopgap arrangement. Okay, so they didn't find anybody, so they put Partha in charge. So they said we can't be more disappointed. So we have to make long-term commitments in the market. And how do we make the commitments?
And they were so transparent with you. They were up and they shared all of these points.
I cajoled them, and because I'm that kind of person who demands, and they were open. They individually came and said me कि सर ऐसे लोग सोच रहे, मैं नहीं सोच रहा हूँ, ऐसे लोग सोच रहे. So थोड़ा बहुत मतलब they didn't couch it too much, but they did not bring them onto it. And one of them said कि सर हमको बहुत प्रॉब्लम है, 6-5 लोग ट्रांसफर हो गए, आप छठे आए हो, मुझे पता नहीं आप कितने दिन रहोगे. हम कैसे चलाएंगे ऐसे तो इससे बेटर है कि हम कोई और नौकरी ढूंढ लें. Okay, so this is what, and I came home and I went, shut down in my room. What have I done to myself? I was a successful CFO. Why have put myself into this kind of thing?
Then?
And honestly, they're right. I didn't know. I have never handled international operations, so that's the truth. So I thought, and how do you overcome this? How do you instill in a team confidence that something is? So I went to them and I told them 3 things.
Okay.
First and foremost, market में growth में आप मेरी मदद करो. महिंद्रा से प्रोडक्ट लाने में मैं आपका मदद करूंगा. So let's work as partnership because I can make this side happen. I'm confident and I'm confident in you that you will make that side happen. Okay. So this is the first one. So आप ये करें तो because your major problem is you are not getting products from the product development.
Yeah.
So I'll get you that.
Okay.
So you go to the market and get me the market. I'll come with you. 2.
Got it.
I promise that come or hail or high water, I will not move out of this job for 3 years.
Okay. You committed to that?
Yeah. So I promise. Okay. And then the third one, I said, I want to lay down 3 vision statements for you. 3 things for you. You know, everything to me as 3 as some meaningful, thing in my life. Huh? I swear by 3. So 3 advice, 3 things. This quarter will meet plan. That's what we are committing as a team. And I'm going to go and tell the management that my team will achieve the numbers that they commit this quarter.
Okay.
Okay. In next 1 year, we will go into 3 new markets.
Okay.
Okay. And in the next decade, 3 out of this team members in this room will become CEOs of their own right, heading companies around the world. Okay. So I came out of the room. I didn't know whether I made any impact or anything. I came down and then they all went back. And next day, nothing happened. I mean, they all came to office. We all talked this and that. And then one of them came and said, "Sir, 3 market में मेरे पास एक market है जहाँ हम जा सकते हैं. South Africa, we should." And then somebody came and said, "Sir, China के बारे में आपने क्या सोचा?" Now I realized that now I have at least inspired them. Yes. Now I've taken them off that despondency and given them 3 markets in the next 1 year to achieve. So I said, पहले ये quarter का number करना है. कहाँ से करेंगे बताओ? Let's call the distributor. Cajole him to take. We'll meet the numbers because that will give us confidence that we can. 3 markets. We went to China. We fortified USA. We went to Africa, some market, and we went to Australia.
China, Africa, and Australia. Okay.
Okay. So and we went there. We opened all those 4 in that 1 year. And when I say Africa, I'm not meaning the whole of Africa. We chose two countries and then went there. So and opened those and appointed distributor. In 3 years' time, I had a CEO in China, operating 2 JVs. I had a CEO in Australia handling, and I was a CEO for Africa, handling that from India. But CEOs of people who were there. So they were called CEOs because they had under them CEOs in that country. And Australia and China, of course, were located in Australia and China. I'm not saying USA because USA already had a CEO. Okay, so I achieved this. And we achieved 50x growth in 4 years.
Wow, 50x is also cool. And you met all the 3 promises you gave to the team, which is
absolutely. So you have to think through what you're promising.
Like when you model your mindset, right? CFO say now you can become business and later on our president bhi bane, right? Mobility services ka. So what is the other skill which help you to bring that transition?
Yeah, so one of the good things about going from CEO and everything is nothing changes. The mindset I talked about, I talked about this thought process, skills. They talked about the 5 nuances.
Yes.
All that will help you across. So I thought of things which were portable, right?
Yes.
Think about the Neelkant, because when you're moving up the ladder to different role, you're going as a leader.
Yes.
When you go as a leader, the empathy and the Neelkant role holds you in good stead. Second is think of yourself like the banks of the river.
Okay.
The river will not dissipate because you are holding it together. You are not a bridge. You are not a dam. You are a banks of the river. You are not altering the river. You are allowing it to flow.
Wow, that's such a nice way to shape.
Yeah. So be the banks of the river help me do that. And third is reverse mentor.
So we've learned so much from you on the leadership, how you have become so successful, and what are the learnings for us. Now there is a fun rapid fire. There are some questions which will come your way. Are you excited for it?
Yes, I'm excited and also nervous.
No, I'm sure you will do good.
Yeah.
So I do have a series of questions. So I'll ask you whatever comes in your mind, you just answer.
Yeah.
Great. So cool. One word to describe the future of finance.
AI and digital.
Okay, AI and digital. That's great. I do believe in that. A leader you admire the most.
Many leaders.
Okay.
But I'll tell you two. Keshub Mahindra for his humility
Okay.
and people orientation, and Anand Mahindra for his vision and risk-taking ability.
Wow, both of them are very inspiring. Your go-to leadership mantra.
Thrilling, pulling और feeling के सिवा life में है क्या?
That's so hilarious. The most important soft skill for a leader.
Listen, discern and learn.
Listen, discern and learn. I'll remember it forever. M&A or organic growth, what excites you more?
Both, because both are exciting levers, and I've operated both and learned and enjoyed immensely both.
Okay, wow. A financial trend that will dominate the next decade.
I think I've answered that. Digital and AI will become the mainstay of finance and accounts in future.
Okay, and if not finance, what would have been your career choice?
Teacher.
Yeah, you are a great teacher. And your favorite book on leadership or finance?
Gandhi's Experiments with Truth
Gandhi's Experiments with Truth.
and 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, because I think it's heads and tails of the same coin, yeah?
Absolutely. So, yeah. What is a favorite food?
That I do? Vegetarian, Indian, spicy food.
That's like too broad. Just tell why one of your favorites.
So Vada Pav.
Vada Pav, wow. In Mumbai, all of us love Vada Pav. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I am not sure. I can remember of it. I'm a buff, so I watch almost all movies. My favorite movie is what? The Good, Bad and the Ugly.
Okay, we'll go with the Good, Bad and Ugly. A favorite travel destination for you?
Favorite travel destination is to many places in India. I did Kashmir, and this was fantastic. The backwaters of Kerala are fantastic. So I visited across the world, but I think India is fabulous.
Yeah, India is truly fabulous. 2-3 words your colleague used to describe.
Leader, benevolent, empowering, ocean.
I like it. What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
The legacy we want to do, and that's why I'm doing so much of social work, is I want to leave impact. I want to leave behind leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, because that will speak more than words. And I want to leave behind the importance of empathy. They call it EQ in some sense, but I call it empathy.
Empathy. So empathy, impact and leaders. That's the legacy you want to leave behind.
Yes.
Absolutely great, Partha. You have successfully done the rapid fire. There's a small thing for your beautiful home.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. So thank you so much, Partha, for your time, sharing with us leadership insights and so in your journey, right, you would have met across a lot of people, your family and everyone who supported you, the professionals. Do you want to say some of their names and thanks on the podcast?
Oh, I mean, first and foremost is I want to say thanks to Jayshree, my wife.
Yeah, we will wish you
to my 2 children, Prakash
Yes.
and Akash. But I think the biggest thanks goes to my team.
Yes.
For what they have done for me. Everything that I've achieved and everything I do is because of them. The 4th biggest constituent I want to thank over and above my parents is all the benefactors who have played a role. My mentors, my gurus, my coaches, all of them have played a wonderful role that I made what I am. That what I've learned is, they say, is like handful, and what I've not learned is like the ocean. And they have been the ocean who's constantly given me inspiration and knowledge. So thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone for playing a great role in Partha's life to make a difference. And thank you so much, Partha, for taking our time to create an impact via this podcast. We surely make a difference to a lot of people, helping them in their growth journey. So thank you so much for your time, and thanks everyone for watching this. Really appreciate it.